Hey investors, in today's video, I'll share exactly how much all my dividend companies paid me this past month. Just remember that during a bull run, everyone looks like a genius. During a bear market, we find out who the real scholars are. Every week, I'm pouring money into the stock market. Many of these are companies that pay increasing dividends every quarter. It's how I've created a reliable income stream that has grown into over $200 in passive income during my big dividend-paying months, such as June. And while I can't pay for all of my living expenses with $250, I will one day be able to reach financial freedom once all my dividend checks can pay for all my living expenses. This is a great way to build generational wealth and pass it down to your children. What's amazing is the stock market is down around 20% for the year, but my dividend income has grown considerably since January. Let's take a look at the companies that have given us a pay raise this past month. And boy, did we start off with a big bang. UNH, arguably the best dividend company out there, they gave a 14% pay raise. I first started buying UNH in 2019 when they paid just 90 cents a share in dividends, and that number has now ballooned to $1.65 every single quarter. Just imagine if we owned more shares and got even more income quarterly. We also have O Realty Income with a modest 0.2% raise. Now this is normal for O to have several pay raises throughout the year. This is actually their 116th different dividend increase since O became a public company. Realty Income has had a very strong year in 2022. They're only down about 1% compared to the market's 20%. I always have to stop myself because I want to buy more shares, but I'm reminded how strong their performance has been and that I'm not getting a discount. Bank of America, they gave a 5% dividend raise. Dividends by big banks are closely regulated by the feds. If they can't pass liquidity tests, they won't be able to raise their dividend, and this is actually what happened to JP Chase. They weren't allowed to raise their dividend. General Mills came in clutch with a 6% pay raise. This is the 123rd straight year that they have paid dividends with no interruptions. And this just proves what I always say on this channel. The more boring the company is, the more rich it makes its investors. Alright, now for the real reason you clicked on this video, to see all the dividends I received in the month of June 2022. So starting off here, we have Visa paying me $5.81. Great start here with Visa. And then we have the diversified conglomerate giant in Honeywell paying me $11.69. Honeywell has been on a steep discount these past couple of weeks, and I've been coming in and scooping in more shares of Honeywell. After Honeywell, we have JAPI. This is JP Chase's little income ETF, and they paid me $13.43. JAPI has had a much more impressive performance than the other income ETFs that I own, and the dividend that they paid for the month of July was super fat compared to other income ETFs which have been decreasing their dividend. After JAPI, we have the old reliable and Johnson & Johnson paying me $12.43. After this big pharma company, we have Microsoft paying me $9.09. After Microsoft, we have Otter Tails paying me 41 cents. Great little utility company that I definitely need to be buying more shares of. After Otter Tails, I have Pfizer at $5.20 in dividends they paid me this past month. Now, if my voice sounds a little funny, it's the first time in 2.5 years I finally tested positive for herpes. No, just kidding. I tested positive for C19 for the first time, and it wasn't too bad. I didn't think it was that much worse than just getting a typical cold or flu, but feeling a lot better now. After Pfizer, we have 3M paying me $18.90, and that just dripped into buying more shares of 3M. 3M share price just continues to drop as they continue to get overloaded with litigation on ways that they are harming people's health, harming the community, destroying third world countries, and so on. After 3M, we have another international company in Equinix paying me $9.75. This data center REIT is almost paying me $10 every quarter. And then from one REIT to the other, we have, Realty Income, not Reality. They paid me $7 flat. Wow, how about that? So almost at 30 shares of O. If you really think about it, I'm getting paid $7 every month. That would be about $21 every quarter. Just for reference, when we go over most of these companies that they typically just pay every quarter. After Realty Income, we have Applied Materials paying me $7.54. Now, I would say of all the stocks in the market, this is the one company I have been just buying a boatload of. They've had a pretty significant drop in share price, and I've really been scooping in and buying these shares at a discount. May not be the best dividend play, but it's definitely going to be a growth machine in the future. So after Applied Materials, we have Prudential Financial paying me $14.40. Prudential is another high-yielding dividend company, great starting yield in the finance sector. After PRU, we have Waste Management paying me $7.80, another industrial sector stock. Very safe company. They serve a need in the community that's always going to be needed, at least we hope so. So $7.80 from Waste Management. And then we have my franchises that I just love, and that is McDonald's. They paid me $13.80. So I own 10 McDonald's franchises. And when I say franchises, I actually just own shares, which I like to call my franchises. But anyway, my 10 franchises, they paid me $13.80. After McDonald's, we have the company that is slowly taking over the world, and that is BlackRock, paying me $14.62. Whenever I think about BlackRock, it reminds me of the old dude in Stranger Things that kind of just like controls 11 and tries to control everybody else. That's really just the vibe that I get from BlackRock. Let's see if I can continue to crack the full power of these dividends and the potential for greatness that these dividends will provide us one day. So after BlackRock, we have Bank of America, $9.66. So nice to see them raise their dividend this past month, almost at that $10 milestone, which would be really cool just to keep getting more stocks that are over $10 a share. After Bank of America, we have NDAC. This is the actual company called NASDAQ, and they just had a really stellar earnings report. So $3.16 from this company. So after NDAC, we have Shell. No more Royal Dutch Shell, it's just Shell. They paid me $9.72. And with $9.72, I can buy, what, like 1 gallon of fuel these days? All right, so after Shell, we have the very disappointing ETF in Lose C, paid me $13.01. So again, just a declining amount of dividends being paid out by NuC. They just continue to have that slow bleed where they just continue to go down, and in the long run they've done worse than the overall market, which is just so ironic because that's the whole point of what this ETF is not supposed to do. Check out the video I made on NuC if you want more info. So we go from this huge disappointment to this huge winner here in UNH, $11.55. UNH, in my opinion, is the best dividend stock out there. After UNH, we have QYLD, paying me $18.22. So still some pretty fat dividends from both QYLD and NuC, but they definitely have struggled this year. Next company to pay me was a dividend king in Pepsi at $13.80. I've been waiting a long time for Pepsi share price to fall so I can just continue to buy more shares, but that day does not seem to be happening. After Pepsi, we have Union Pacific paying me $13. Now this company has been on a dip lately. They just announced earnings and they just seem to be so-so. After this railroad giant, we also had Coca-Cola paying me $10.08. So this is actually another company that just reinvested into buying more shares of KO. So KO stock price has held on pretty strong this year. Another company that paid me in the month of June, even though it says July here, is Nvidia, and they paid me $1.26. I also had dividend payments from XYield, XYLD, and SCHD in my Roth IRA, just positions I've been slowly building up. Neither of the dividend payments were that big, in the ballpark of around $2. Altogether, I had 29 different companies / ETFs pay me for a grand total of $260.69. That's 32% higher than last June, when I made just $197.76. This is a brand new dividend record and makes me optimistic as we enter the later half of 2022. I'm hoping to be able to crack $300 in dividends by the end of the year. Now, passive income is the best kind of income. I didn't have to lift a finger and I can pay my entire HOA fee with dividends. Though I'm sure in typical HOA fashion, they would have a rule against making payments in dividends, of course. Now my 3-month average, that's how much money I make every quarter, that's now up to $531. That's up $18.56 from just last month. Meaning my monthly average is now $177 from dividends. So these big money making month tranches like we have in June, they are really carrying the other months. Overall, as long as I'm getting paid, I don't really care what month the money comes in. It's just amazing how poorly the stock market has been doing this year, but I can really rely on my dividends to just keep getting larger. Now, I'm still probably making more money going to the bathroom at work, but I know every month I'm getting that much closer to reaching my financial freedom goals. Now, I always make these videos to inspire you on your journey. I'm 4.5 years in, and I'm now knocking on the door of $300 in passive income. I talk about goals that are actually realistic for the typical person on this channel. Getting here was a lot of hard work, but I know my future self will be thanking me one day. I want you to tell me though what companies paid you the most in dividends in the comments below this past month. These videos definitely do take a lot of time to put together, so make sure you hit that like button and or subscribe for more portfolio updates. As always, my videos are found in podcast form under the Collect Cash podcast name, and I will buy, stash, and collect cash you later.